The inner game. This is the lesson or the theme is we have in NLP this idea of the inner game and this idea of a coach state. And, we can call it all kinds of states. We just happen to call it a coach state, but it means that I have a sense of being centered. I've relaxed. I've kind of settled down into my center right down there in the belly. And I can breathe into there and I can have a sense of really feeling my feet on the floor and feeling connected to the ground. This means I'm wanting to start to embody, not just be a floating head out here, but to really settle down inside this unit of mind, as I would say. So there's a sense of centeredness. And then maybe I can begin to open my heart and my mind some, openness, and sort of my shoulders can come back. I can have bigger awareness, I can feel more connected to myself and connected to you from that state of being. So I'm centered, I'm balanced, I have a sense of openness, awareness, I'm external, I'm present in the moment to you. And feel that connection to myself and to you. And when then something happens, whether it's joyful or not so joyful, we can hold it. Doesn't push us around, but we can hold it. We can hold that pain or that joy with that other person in a way that still allows us to stay centered and present. So now the opposite of that is the crash state. Think about what happens when you go in. You're going to have to talk to somebody that's not easy to talk to, and you wish you could continue down the hall and talk to somebody else. But, well, there they are. And you feel yourself starting to contract, to kind of close down. And maybe you even start to get internal dialogue, oh God, here we go again. Maybe prepared to be reactive. Okay, I know I'm going to have to, this is going to be a tough thing to do. And talking, analyzing. Once I have taken that, once I know, kind of go there and go, oh, wow, look at all that stuff that's going on, and my attention is in here, then I've now separated. I've separated from the wisdom of my body, but I've also separated from this other person. And those are times we can say things and do things that hurt other people, that, I guess we can be hateful there in a way. So NLP has the basic model. It's got more models, but the basic model was called the tote model, a present state of being and a desired state of being. So if I think about a crash state, different things that cause me to crash. What happens when I'm present, and I feel a sense of being open and calmness and, I'm ready to meet the world. And then something happens, crash. And I find my body contracted and closing down, reacting, talking. I have a present state. I go, oh, I'm kind of crashed here. And then I have a desired state to go to. And so this could be a strategy. How can I move from that crash state to a more open coach state? Those are the kind of things that NLP has to offer us. That I can gain more self-awareness. So I go, well, when I was in that crash state, what was I aware of? Well, what images were there? What sounds? What sensations? And maybe what emotions? What emotions? How did I feel about those sensations, the emotions? That I can calibrate that if I practice this coach state a little bit, bring awareness to that. And I can go, well, here I am in this crash, how much coach state is here at all? And then maybe I go, well, there's 4 on a scale of 1 to 10. I got 4 points for crash state there. The self-adjustment is for me to go, let me notice what is there and start to change things in my system to see if I can expand that coach state back to a presence, back to that connection, so that I can stay present, open, and available, connected to you and to myself at the same time. That's the idea. So suppose, I notice, wow, when I start to crash, my breathing gets tight. So maybe I'll go, what happens if I change my breathing? How does that affect? if my body is crunched? What happens if I kind of open up my body and relax for a moment? What happens if I just bring my awareness outside? So that I can, first of all, let me bring some self-awareness. What is happening in there? That's good NLP. What images, sounds, feelings about the feelings. Well, how optimal is this for me? Well, on a scale of 1 to 10, I can kind of scale it. I can kind of calibrate it. With self-adjustment, I can begin to influence because I've brought awareness there. And then we have a thing in NLP called anchoring, which is just like a little ship at sea. Sometimes I have to drop the anchor to hold it there so it stays a while, until I'm ready to move the anchor. But self-anchoring means when I'm in that optimal state, as optimal as you can find, and I know we all have them somewhere, what is a little clue that I can use as a way of helping me remember it? And for some people, that's maybe a symbol of that state. I'm strong like a lighthouse and I can show the way. Maybe it's like the breeze, whatever symbol, or maybe a word or an image that really reminds you, that takes you home. So that anchor is like a little clue that says, this is a pathway home. It's a reminder. So that I can be self-aware, I can self-calibrate, I can self-adjust, and that I can anchor in some way, at some level, with my body, with an image, with sounds. I love to use humming because humming really also has a relationship with the vagus nerve, which is a really big nerve that goes through our body in terms of relaxation. So anyway, I hope this is helping. It's my pleasure to share. So we have a little picture here of this guy going, well, here's my coach state and here's my crash state. And here I am. How am I doing? How am I doing at applying these ideas to kind of get more and more ability to manage my own state of being. And some of the triggers that, pull us around sometimes that we respond. So if I'm feeling judged or disregarded, or it's like you're not there, or being pushed without your wish, not feeling valued or not important, you're working hard and nobody says thank you or notices. Sometimes people feel like somebody's going to take something from them. Sometimes it's a matter of just our core principles, what our values are, that there's a bump. Sometimes it's harassment, prejudice. Sometimes people are just abrasive and not very sensitive to other human beings. And sometimes we have a history with people, but all of these and more, but all of these for sure are potential triggers that can take us to a crash state. And so the usefulness of this idea is, how can I learn from that state, first of all, and how then can I move to a more optimal state? Sometimes, these things relate to survival strategies, just like any other mammal in the world, that fear, is, somehow I feel like I have to protect myself physically, mentally, emotionally, spiritually. Anger, is about going, crossing boundaries. And there's a spirit of wanting to defend myself. Sadness quite often and grief are about releasing something, that I'm holding on to something. It's not about forgetting, but it's about releasing my body. And frustration quite often can be a motivator. It gets me moving sometimes. I know I'm frustrated, so I think I'll do something. So anyway, I just wanted to give you some ideas of, a coach state, an optimal or a kind of optimal, useful state of being, that we all crash, that life pulls us around, and that I can move from that crash state to a more optimal state, and that I can learn and take responsibility for that. I am the queen in my kingdom. You are the queen and king in your kingdoms. And this is a way to start to really take care of that kingdom. And it's healthier. Just like if you brush your teeth twice a day, you're going to have Teeth are going to be healthier, gums are going to be healthier. And I think taking a moment to settle down, pause, breathe, and connect to yourself a few times a day if necessary. It's just kind of setting that beautiful pattern into the muscle that, yeah, this is a place that's useful and you can try for yourself. One of the things I love to do is when I do have an obstacle, when I do start to crash, and I take a moment at some time during the day to sit and to say, welcome. Hello, anger, my old friend, come to talk to me again. As they said in the guest house, you never know who's going to show up in that beautiful poem by Rumi. That to sit with that obstacle, but sit from a centered you know, coach state. Say, hello, my old friend, you're welcome. It's not all of you, it's a response to something in you. And to be curious, be interested, it must make sense or it wouldn't be there, right? Somehow it makes sense. I can't figure it out cognitively or but I go in the system of Judy. Somehow this makes sense that maybe I need to hear something or heal something or hold something or be held, welcome. What is your question? What is your concern? This is just a sweet activity, again, to practice, just dream on it, think about it. And I hope that this, will touch you and that it gives you a way to know a little bit more about me. And I hope to see you on the path, either probably maybe on a Zoom room sometime. I don't know. But whatever is in the future, I send out my very best wishes to you all. And I want to thank the association, Indonesian Association of NLP, and Hindra and Indru for making this opportunity available. Thank you. Bye bye.